Unusual Suspects, an arts exhibition that interrogates new expressions of gender and unfolds bundles African cultural identities, is set to celebrate the unique visual dialects of 11 contemporary artists and looks for connection between contemporary and pre-colonial expressions. The exhibition will bring image makers from Africa and its diaspora to connect through a non-linear timeline that draws inspiration from oral tradition, pre-colonial symbolic heritage, cultural symbols, fashion to 21st century's internet culture, and personal iconographies. For more on this, Ayanfe Olarinde, a Nigerian visual artist, joins us now. Thank you so much for being on Newsday.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So, Unusual Suspects, I mean, it looks pretty straightforward, but when it comes to art, nothing is really straightforward. So what is Unusual Suspects about? Tell us about this body of work.
So basically, Unusual Suspects to me tackles like stereotypes placed on men, stereotypes placed on women, stereotypes placed on people, on how they are dressed, how they're perceived to be, how they act and everything. So my works showing on Unusual Suspect actually just tackles and questions, also documents all of those things I just mentioned.
Okay. Yeah. And then there is this reference to the pre-colonial era. I'm intrigued by that because it seems to suggest that you can somehow wind back the clock and go to a time before, say, Nigeria was colonized. Yeah. But how realistic is that, considering that the artists themselves are a product of an evolved culture and time?
Sorry?
How realistic is it to expect that we can go back and imagine a time before we were colonized if the artists themselves who are generating the artworks are a product of evolution, so to speak?
Well, I think talking with like different people has actually exposed me to so many stories and so many ideas from the past. Talking to my parents, talking to friends way older than me. I mean, there were like so many things I heard, and from there I was inspired to like create pieces based on that.
Well, this is all very exciting. It feels like you're really pushing the boundaries here. What has been the response so far, perhaps from your friends, from your family, and what sort of response do you think you'll get as you explore the different facets of the issue of gender?
Well, from family, it's actually been weird because, I mean, my parents are quite old and their friends also, they are also old. So they don't really understand. They're just coming to understand it. And it's the reason why we have artists come together to actually create about it, to lend a voice, to support, document, and, basically just encourage people to just be them. And talking about my friends, it's actually been welcoming. They really appreciated it in ways that I can't exactly say because I've had like different friends voice out to me about different things, about how they've been treated around or how they've been accepted or welcomed or not accepted, you get. So I have different people come to my studio, rants and complain and everything. So seeing the exhibition actually kind of gave them that voice. It kind of ignited that fire in them, you get. It made them more bolder. Yeah, and I was so happy about that.
So I understand that your paintings are gender equality, feminism, and toxic masculinity based. Yeah. What propelled that?
Well, coming from where I grew up in and the kind of friends I have, like I mentioned earlier, I have like so many friends that fall in the non-binary and binary gender. So I have like a lot of them complain to me. Personally, I've had like different experiences with people and I've been affected by it. I mean, people not being treated equally, people not being treated right. It affects me because, I mean, they're my friends and they always come to rants and somehow, because I am linked with them, I get affected by it. I see them get beat. I see them get insulted, and really I don't think it's right because, I mean, I feel like people can just be themselves. Men can just be men. Guys can put on pink if they want to. They can carry flowers if they want to, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they are not guys. I mean, what is how to be a man? What is how to be a woman? We all define that by ourselves. Yeah.
Okay, it's fascinating, and then you're expecting that this forum, art forum, will help begin that conversation. Yeah. But I want to ask you, somewhere, I think it was either you or someone mentioned that they're hopeful that because of the pandemic and people going away from nightclubs and various other engagements, they can now, we're looking at an art boom. Do you share that that thought? Do you think you're seeing more people transitioning to art who would previously have gone to nightclubs before the pandemic?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Do you think you're seeing more people who would have normally gone to a nightclub before the pandemic, finding that there's something for them in attending an exhibition like this?
Yeah, actually, I think people have actually come to appreciate art more than before. People would rather actually just go see art, absorb it. Sometimes even if they don't understand it, they just really enjoy it, yeah. So yeah, I go with that idea.
So I'm really curious to know, you talk about pre-colonial expressions and you incorporate that into your art. Whereabouts in Nigeria, though, what are we talking about? Are we talking about pre-colonial history here in Lagos or in Kaduna? Or can you give us a bit more of a geographical sense of where you're deriving this?
Talking about pre-colonialism in my own work, I think it is here in Lagos and also in Osun State, because I only know so much about Lagos and Osun State. That's where I'm from. Yeah.
Ayanfe Olarinde, we'll try to make out time to see if we can see some of your arts ourselves, but thank you so much for coming on Newsday.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and it's been nice to really have you guys at the show too. Thank you.
Great.